Hello again and welcome to another Mordy and Glory bolt action video. In today's episode, we will be doing a review of the Imperial Japanese Starter Army. With bolt action 3rd edition round the corner, that's often a good excuse to pick up a new army or get into the game for the first time. But of course, you want to know if what you're buying is a good deal. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're breaking down this box and making sure it's a good purchase for you if you're thinking of getting into the IJA. And so, without further ado, let's not mess around any further. Let's fix bayonets and Banzai right into today's episode. So first things first, let's break down the criteria. What are the factors that we're looking at and taking into account when we're determining if this is a good box or not? Firstly, we're going to be looking at the units you get as part of this box set. Are you getting a nice variety of units that have good flexibility and should be able to survive the transition into 3rd edition? Or is it a bunch of older models or niche models that might not be as flexible with the new edition in mind? Secondly, we will be looking at the quality of the kits. Are the plastic models here the new variant, which come very ergonomically designed and are easy to build, or are we looking at the older variants, things like the older Soviet infantry where you've got to actually glue the rifles into the hands, which is a very frustrating and tricky process. Lastly, we'll be looking at the cost. Is it good bang for buck? Are you getting a lot in the starter army for what you're paying? And how does it compare to some other starter armies for other factions? So with all of that said, now let's dive into the nitty gritty of this video, starting off with what's in the box. As part of this army, you will get 1 metal officer, 48 plastic infantry, 1 metal medium mortar team, 1 metal medium machine gun team, and 1 plastic Type 97 Chi-Ha medium tank. You'll also get the bolt action stat cards and the vehicle damage markers. Overall, I think this is a generous amount of models. You're getting plenty of infantry. You're getting probably more than you're going to need, especially in your first few games. So that allows you to build a bit of variety. You can try out some with machine guns, try out some with SMGs, or just go for lots and lots of riflemen. Really, you've got a few spares in there so you can mix and match and find a composition of units that work for you. You've also got a variety of support teams. You've got medium mortars and medium machine guns, and this will give you a feel for how the artillery works in the game with that mortar, how indirect fire works. You'll also get an idea for the difference between feeling like a medium machine gun team versus having like a light machine gun in your infantry squads. And finally, you have a tank in here, and having a tank is great because even though bolt action is often described as an infantryman's game, one of the big draws for most people to a faction is their armor. And so having a tank in the starter set is a great way of getting a feel for how your Japanese armor is going to work in the game. The only model here which is a bit whatever is the metal officer. That's because the plastic infantry sprues come with plenty of bits to build officers anyway. At the end of the day, it's a nice to have, and I guess your officer model is covered, and this allows you to focus your plastic infantry on taking machine guns and other weapons. But speaking of those plastic infantry, let's get into the kits themselves. We've covered that we're getting the quantity. Are we getting the quality? And the short answer is yes. I actually own an Imperial Japanese army, which is very infantry based, and I have built and painted a shed load of these guys, and they're really easy. The sprues are well laid out, and the models themselves are really easy to assemble. Essentially, you have the body and the legs as one part, the gun and the arms as another part. That's right, the gun and the 2 arms come as one part, and then you have the head. 3 bits, and you've got your model. After that, you just got to glue them onto the base and add any pouches and stuff on that you want to. And the models are not only easy to build, but you come with all the weapon options that you could want. You have enough parts for SMGs, you have enough parts for LMGs, you even get bits for lunge mines, which are a separate unit, And you have the knee mortars as well. So if you want to build a light mortar team on its own, you can do. If you want to have the knee mortars in your squad, you can do that as well. And you get, like I said, the bits for officers. You get plenty of swords and other bits like pistols in here. And you've got glasses. I mean binoculars for the for doing like air observers and artillery observers and spotters. You get everything in this plastic infantry kit to build all the different kinds of infantry that you could want, whether it's officers and specialists down to as many riflemen as you could want. It's a really solid kit that has you fully covered and covers all your bases. But speaking of plastic models, we have the Type 97 Chi-Ha. Now first, let me just say it's great that this is a plastic tank. There are a number of bolt action starter armies that come with a resin vehicle, which is fine, but resin is a tricky material to work with if you've not used it before. And remember, this is a starter army, so this is for new players. So plastic tank, very, very good. The other good thing about this vehicle is it's relatively easy to put together, and you can build 2 tanks from it. It's not just the Type 97 with its light howitzer. You can also build this as the Type 97 Kai Shinto Chi-Ha, which is the one which has the medium anti-tank gun. It's essentially the equivalent of a Panzer III. So if you're building your Japanese army and you're like, I've got my anti-tank covered, I've got my lunge mines, no problems there, then you can build this thing with the light howitzer. But if you're thinking, damn, I need some more anti-tank in my army, what's the best way of doing that? You build this as the Kai Shinto and you'll have a medium AT gun in your army. So it's a great model, easy to build, and it's flexible. And like with the infantry, that's really, really important, because we're talking about buying a starter army before we know all the details about 3rd edition. So you need those units that can cover multiple bases. So if your infantry are nice and flexible, they're covered for 3rd edition, and your tank is nice and flexible, that's covered for 3rd edition. All the plastic models here are great for now, and they should be good for going into the new edition as well. Now that covers the plastic models. What about the metal ones? Well, we get 3. We have the metal officer, the mortar team, and the machine gun team. Now the metal officer, I'm just going to touch on him briefly. Really easy to build. I have this model. It's a single piece model. You literally get him and you stick him onto a base and he's done. There's no other parts that are involved. He comes as a single piece, one done. Likewise, the mortar is relatively easy to put together as well. All the crew are going to come in single piece models. You might have to glue the heads on, but that's about it. And the mortar itself consists of just 3 parts. You've got the base plate, the tube, and the legs. Now, when building these metal models, you are going to need to use super glue. If you try and use plastic glue, it just will not work, because plastic glue works by melting the parts together, essentially, where super glue just bonds them with the actual glue itself. So you will need super glue. Get a good brand. I have tried many different kinds of super glue when it comes to building metal models, and frankly, store brand stuff just does not cut it. Get yourself a good brand like Gorilla Glue or Loctite, and you will find that your models will be going together very, very easily. Also, have a little bit of patience. You have to give the glue a bit of time to bond. So what I would say is glue the piece on and hold it there and count to 10, and you'll find that works really nicely. Now, if even after doing that a couple of times you're finding the parts aren't going together, it might be because there's some other agent that is getting in the way of the glue and the 2 metal pieces. Warlord Games, when they are making their metal models, they actually powder them, literally, in corn flour, and that helps the models come out of the mold. Sometimes that corn flour stays on the model, so what you might do is literally just give them a quick rinse under the tap, dry them off, and if you've done, when they're fully dry, try again, and that you should find, make sure that the pieces go together seamlessly. Out of all the models here, the only one that you might find a bit tricky to put together is the metal machine gun team. Now, I have built this machine gun and I do love it, but I did find it somewhat tricky finding the connection point between the machine gun and the stand, and then getting that to line up with the hands of the guy that's firing it. Be patient, don't be afraid of bending the legs a little bit. I actually found that I need to essentially bend the legs of the tripod so that it raised the tripod up, so that then it was on level, so I could get the hands and the tripod and the machine gun all on the same angle. So that's just something you might need to be aware of. But again, if you use a good super glue and you're patient and you take your time, you will find that these models go together relatively easily. And again, the crew are all one piece, apart from that you might have to glue the heads on, and the machine gun is only going to be in about 2 or 3 pieces. Now, we've talked a lot about building these things, and what about using them? Are they going to be good in the new edition of Action? Well, we don't know for certain, but I'm pretty confident that both these teams are going to be good in 3rd edition. Firstly, medium mortars are a solid unit. They're a staple of lists right now. They're very popular, and I just can't see that changing. Secondly, with the medium machine gun, they're not so good right now. Whereas the mortar is seen as popular but not overpowered, just good, MMGs are seen as a bit underpowered. And I think that Warlord Games is going to be aware of this. It's one of the biggest pieces of feedback that you get with bot action. The moment anyone says, how would you change anything about action, the first response is going to be, I'd improve MMGs. So I think right now MMGs are weak, but they're going to be likely a good target for buffs going into the new edition, and medium mortars are strong now without being overpowered, so I don't think anyone's anticipating any major changes to them. So to summarize where we're up to right now, this box comes with a lot of models. A lot of those are good plastic models, and the metal models that we get are very good as well. But how does this starter set line up against other starter sets, and is it a good deal fundamentally? Overall, I think that the Imperial Japanese starter army does have good bang for buck. Coming in at £104 from Warlord Games at the time of recording, that puts it in line with a lot of other starter armies. In fact, it's a few pounds cheaper than some like the American one, and even some of the German ones are about 108 quid. So it's on the lower end, but it's pretty much in line with what you would expect to pay for a Warlord Games starter set. On top of this, you are getting more infantry than you would normally get in a starter army. For example, most of the German ones only come with 36 plastic infantry, and that's the same for a lot of other factions as well, whereas in this one, you're getting 48. However, it is balanced out by the fact that you're only getting the one plastic vehicle. A lot of bot action starter armies come with 36 plastic infantry, but then you get a transport and a tank. Whereas in this one, you just get the tank. So again, it's in line with the other starter armies, and it's pretty much balanced out. The good news is that in comparison to some of the Soviet starter sets, where you're getting things like specialized light anti-tank guns, and the same for the US Marine Corps set, the support teams you get in this are fantastic. You're getting that medium machine gun, which every starter army comes with, and you're getting that medium mortar, which is not a guarantee in any starter army. So the price is in line with what we're expecting. You're getting a balanced force because you're getting more infantry but less vehicle, and there's no filler in here. Both of the weapon teams are totally viable and okay. So overall, taking everything into account, this is a really good starter army. You've got good kit quality, good unit variety, and very good bang for buck. The only fly in the ointment that you may find with the starter army is its availability. Certain starter armies, like the Soviet Winter one and the British and American airborne armies, you can find them everywhere. And in fact, they are armies that Warlord Games will send to stockists who want to have bot action on their shelves because they are very popular. You don't have the same guarantee with the Imperial Japanese starter army. There are plenty of online stockists who have it, but then there are also plenty of shops that don't. So you may struggle to find it in your local gaming store, and therefore you might need to buy it online. Of course, you have to wait for it to turn up. But if you're jonesing for the army now, you might have to be patient and wait a few days, and you might not be able to get it from your usual place. But apart from that, I have to say this is a really good starter army, and one that I can definitely recommend if you're thinking of getting into bot action with the IJA. But of course, all of this is just like my opinion, man. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Are you a fan of the starter set, or is there another way that you would start your Imperial Japanese army journey? If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to smash that like button and also subscribe to never miss an episode.
Would you like to know more?
If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian Glory Hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing. Truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full time without the incredible and generous support of my members. So thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Alex Dengal, Bon Vert, Mad Larkin, Marcus Roberts, Mark Panconi, RJ Scorpion, Swordfish Trombone, Try Again Bragg, John Stubbs, Nick Walsh, Diesel Fox, and August Barney. Seriously, guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video. And of course, as always, I'll see you guys next time.